How long was yours? Like a half hour?
Yeah, it was about a half hour. It was like 25 minutes.
Okay.
I blocked off an hour, so if you go a little longer, that's cool.
Yeah, mine's probably going to be about the same. The first one I'm always like kind of nervous when I do it, so I kind of talk fast.
Yeah, well, you'll be fine.
There wasn't too much in mill really.
There wasn't a lot. Oh, I gotta kind of watch what I say, but it wasn't a lot in anything. Just a lot of little stuff.
The UV direction thing is huge.
It is.
Did you talk about that, or is that
I
your
did,
thing?
but I don't know what I do with it.
It's for flow line. Now
Mhm.
flow line will work for everything.
Oh shit! Well, that's a big improvement then.
Yeah, because the
I,
only
I
reason
was
flow line sucked was because of UV.
I was looking at it from the CAD standpoint. I'm like, yeah, it's a great CAD tool. What does it do for me?
Yeah, because now like if you have a ton of surfaces, you can just make all the UVs match, and then
Hmm.
flow line becomes like the most easy to use toolpath there is.
Oh, nice.
Let me get some water. I'll be right back.
Hmm.
I tried to figure out how I could add music to like this part, but
You
I,
can sing for them.
that's true. I could do that.
That's my daughter's thing at night now when I'm putting her to bed. She wants me to sing her a song, but she tells me to sing songs about these most random things. The other night it was, I want a song about a panda who stole a hammer. I'm like, how am I even going to come up with that?
That's impressive.
It is impressive. It's a good imagination. That's the sound of me opening an energy drink because my lunch is hitting me hard.
Hold on. If I do, just let me know if you see my slideshow. Hold on.
I see your slideshow.
You see that now?
Yep.
And now it's back to the starting soon.
Yep.
Cool.
Before we get going, I'm going to hit the men's room. And when you start to roll, I'll mute my mic so I don't
Make noise.
yeah, don't yeah, don't echo too much.
Hopefully I didn't screw that up.
All right, Nick. I'm gonna mute myself here for you, and
All right, you just want to let me. Should I just start at 2?
yep. Yeah, it's early still. I'm just gonna mute myself now, and just start at 2 a little bit after, and you should be good.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's see if we can get this going. All right. Hopefully everyone can see me. This is my first webinar, so hopefully it goes okay. So hope everyone's doing good. My name's Nick. I'm a tech here at MACDAC. I'm very excited to go over what's new in milling in Mastercam 2021. This is the first rollout I've done from my office. So if you hear a couple of dogs barking or something like that, I apologize. I locked them downstairs, so hopefully they stay quiet. So we broke these webinars out into separate sections because a 2-hour webinar is boring, especially if you're just there to see one part of the software. You can, since we've split them up, now we can, you have the option to maybe go watch the mill one, which is this one, the lathe one, maybe multi-axis or general enhancements, which Dave did this morning. So hopefully you tuned into that. So I'm going to try to make this pretty straightforward and to the point, and get you the information that I think that that you're gonna need when using the software. So there's a Q&A section. So if you have a question, throw it in there. I think I'll be able to see it, and then yeah, so Mastercam 2021 was released earlier this week. It's only a 1.5 gig download, and you don't have to if you haven't updated your software in a while, you don't have to. It doesn't replace what you're using, so you can start using it however you feel comfortable. If you want to just make a few programs in there, make sure kind of everything's working the way you expect it to, you can totally do that. So as long as you're current on your maintenance, you can download 2021 right after this. You could download it while I'm talking, and it'll probably be done by the time I'm done. So let's start the presentation here. So where's the beer? So I don't have any beer right now. You might have a beer. If you do, good for you. I'm jealous. The last couple of years, we've been doing rollouts at different breweries across New England. So due to COVID-19, we're unable to do that this summer, which is a bummer. But keeping people safe is our top priority. So we're going to be doing these virtually, and hopefully next year we can continue the brewery tour. So a couple of things, some highlights that I'm going to be going over. It's going to be machining chamfered holes based on just the width and the depth of the hole. Machining with a customizable multi-segment drill cycle. The blend toolpath got improved. These are all things I'm going to cover today. Not in my presentation, but some other highlights of 2021. It's the UV direction on surfaces can now be changed, which is a game changer for the Flowline toolpath. Also, machining with the new 3+2 automatic roughing toolpath, that's huge. And then machining custom thread forms, and those are all things you can see in our other rollouts, other webinars. So I always like to throw a little about me into these presentations. Recently engaged, and my fiance sent me this picture the other day because I take up the garage with my crappy cars. So, but she's great. She puts up with it. So, other things about me: I was a machinist before working at MACDAC. So, running primarily mill turn machines. I've been at MACDAC now 3.5 years. So some general mill enhancements. So selection improvement for toolpath hole definition. So the toolpath hole definition function panel includes two enhancements. On the selection tab, which is over to the left here, see if I can point to it. This guy. So we can, on the selection tab, a summary of all the edited change at point parameters are now conveniently displayed on a tooltip in the features list. And then on the advanced tab over to the right, we now have the option to allow multiple solid bodies. This is, and that's going to be down there. So we can recognize same size holes across multiple bodies with a control click onto the different solids. Check tool reach. This is a new function as well. You can use check tool reach to check tool and holder against the selected model geometry, and to view where the tool can and can't reach. It's a quick video on how it works. So we're going to go to tool reach. Our target is going to be our solid. Now here we can go into our tool library and pick whatever tool we were thinking about using. In this case, I have a blend mill. And then we can change our colors however we'd like. So I'll say green is reachable. I preview. Everything green is reachable now with that tool assembly that I gave it from my tool library. Now, if I want to, I can also change the cutting diameter, and just in case I have to go down a size in a tool or up, however you want to use that. But that's a new feature. We've had just the regular check holder for a while, so this goes in the Analyze tab up here. So some 2D mill enhancements. So skip pockets based on tool diameter or pocket size. So this is available in 2D dynamic mill and dynamic OptiRough toolpaths. And there's also an option to now skip all pockets. So smaller than allows you to skip pockets based on your entered tool diameter or the pocket's size. Skip all, pretty self-explanatory. You can skip all the pockets. This diagram kind of shows the tool diameter percentage and then what the resulting toolpath is going to look like. So from top to bottom, the tool diameter being 0, that's going to hit every pocket. And then the tool diameter at 300%, that's going to skip just that center pocket, it looks like. And then 350, it's going to skip all of those 3 center pockets right there. This is a feature that you may have seen, or I guess a function in some of the multi-axis toolpaths, and now they are trickling down to the 2D and 3D toolpaths as well. Advanced drill. So advanced drill is a new drilling toolpath. It's not replacing the regular drill. This is just adding to it. So advanced drill is useful for spot drilling, deep hole drilling, and back spot facing. Each segment of the drill cycle can now be defined in a table on the toolpath cut parameters page. So what can you do with it? So you can customize any or all of the following options. You can define individual pecs within the segment, including retracts to simulate a chip break cycle. You can set the feed rate or choose rapid motion. You can change the spindle speed. You can turn coolant on and off. You can add manual entry comments or code, and then you can also change your tool axis, whether it's 3, 4, or 5 axis output. So this is what the screen is going to look like. So up here we have our depth, and these fields are kind of like our machining selection fields in the 3D toolpaths, where you can double click in here and you can enter a value. You can also in that field you can right click and you can go back to your display window, and you can reference tool geometry or reference heights, things like that. So we have our depth, our feed rate, our spindle speed, RPM, our coolant, and our dwell time. Down here is where we can enter a comment or a code at each segment. And over here, tool axis control, just like in 2020, we can change it to 3, 4, or 5 axis output, and then use say like a line or a different plane, and that will give us rotation. Just a note, you do need the multi-axis drill add-on to be able to use the 4th and 5th axis options in that tool axis control. If you don't have that, you can just use your planes manager and set it up that way. That way it will still work just the same as it always has. Chamfer drill toolpath. This is another new toolpath that they've added in 2021. So using any tool with a tip angle, it will calculate the correct depth based on the desired chamfer depth or width. So it will also let you select different holes on a different planes, and it will machine those in one single operation. So it's easier to show you than tell you here. So I'll run this. So what I'm doing first here is I'm gonna put 2 different size chamfers on 2 of these same holes. So that first hole, I put a 30 thou chamfer on it. This one is 15 thou. Now I'm going to select each hole. I'm going to select a chamfer mill. I'm going to leave depth at 0 since I already selected the bottom of the chamfer. And then in here, I'm just going to go back to the display window and I'll hit the top of the stock. So you don't need to model the chamfers like I did. I did just so we can kind of see, even though there's 2 different chamfer widths there, the toolpath will auto-calculate our Z depth for each one. And to, I guess, prove it even further, I posted the code out so we can take a look at the Z depths. So our first one is a feed move to Z 2.758, and then our second one is a Z move to 2.773. So pretty cool for a 2D operation to do that. So pre-machining corners for dynamic mill toolpath. So corner pre-treatment has been added to the dynamic mill toolpath. What that will do is it will reduce the amount of thin wall islands created when machining. I see it all the time. We'll be running a dynamic mill, and just the outside almost triangular sections don't get hit. So corner pre-treatment is the solution there. So swapping lead-in and lead-out parameters. So this is a new option added in the lead-in, lead-out page. Lets you swap the parameter values for the entry and exit section without losing your information. What that means is that when I put in say a length here and a radius and a different one here, I can just switch between the 2. I don't have to copy back and forth and overwrite what I have. ArcFit linking and feed move override. So ArcFit maximum radius option attempts to fit 90-degree arc moves into rapid and clearance moves. And then the output feed move option outputs the rapid move as a feed move. So this diagram does a good job showing what that means. On the left, both options are off. That's just a normal retract and reposition move. Yellow is rapid. So when they turn on both options, now you're going to get that 90-degree arc right here. And then this is also going to be all done in a feed motion, and then you could set that feed rate. So this is pretty cool. I'm excited to see how this looks on the machine and how smooth that's going to look. So that's a cool one I'm excited to check out. So locking parameters for thread mill toolpaths. I've had this question before, where if we want to overwrite the feed rate in a thread mill, we can't do it because Mastercam wants to auto calculate everything. So now we can lock the thread pitch field in thread mill operations to not allow Mastercam to recalculate anything based on the tool setting. So that's pretty nice. That's one that I know I've heard from a customer or two, and that's a neat upgrade. 3D mill enhancements. So a big one in 2021 has been 3D Blend. This is a toolpath we really use all the time. So they've really put some work into it. Over the past 2 years, actually, 2020, they did a lot of work to it as well. So a couple new options: equidistant passes, 3D option added to cut parameters page. And what that will do is Mastercam will create the pass equidistance in 3D areas, adding cuts in steep areas. So where 3D Blend might have failed before in some steeper areas, that should be cleared up now. Also, we're able to set the number of cutting passes instead of step over or scallop height. So now we have a third option for I guess cutting pass control. So that diagram over here, I almost pointed at my screen. This diagram here, number of passes off, that's just going to do, say, like, maybe like a 15, 25,000 step over, whatever it might be programmed to. Number of passes set to 10, it will do 10 equal distant passes down the part. So 3D Blend, this is continued more on 3D Blend. I think I have a few slides here on 3D Blend. 3D Blend, confining curves to tooltip or contact point. So when we do a bounding box, sorry, not a bounding box, a containment boundary, the tooltip confines to the center inside the selected curves. Or the tool contact point will let the tool contact point be inside the curves, but the tool itself can go outside the curves. So a nice little option. Hopefully I made that clear. Tool tip on the left and then tool contact point on the right, and that's both under the 3D Blend toolpath. More on 3D Blend, machine from center and to center. So there's two new methods now available in the cut method dropdown for 3D Blend. That's this guy right here in the cut parameters. To center and from center. Kind of self-explanatory there. To center, starting from the outside and working its way to the center, whereas from center is the inverse, starting from the center and working its way outside. So enhancing leads and transition functionality. So extension parameter has been added in the linking parameters to the Surface High-Speed Toolpath. So this is not just limited to 3D Blend. This is in I think it's all of the Surface High-Speed Toolpaths. And the extension value will add extension to the lead motion by any any value that you put in there by using a tangential line. So we've had this before in some other toolpaths, and under gap settings, tangential line length. I know like Flowline had it. Some of those legacy toolpaths had it. So now that's available in the Surface High Speed. So that's pretty nice. Also, apply transitions, sets retract motion to be transition motion. So instead of a bunch of retract motion all over your part, now the new motion, you can see it on the right here, apply transition selected. It's going to do small retracts, just kind of transition arcs throughout the toolpath. So a couple tool enhancements, auto naming tool improvements. So all inch unit default tools now have the same format, diameter, and tool type. You might not see that on the day-to-day. That's a niche improvement. I tried going to find exactly where in the software that was, but I'm going to take their word on it that that's an improvement. Improved barrel form tool definition. Now defined from the tip flat radius like a taper form tool instead of the cutting length. And then also additional feedback when naming tools. That's going to be this down here. I like seeing this kind of stuff where we get more information on kind of through the menus as we're using the software. For a long time, if the software doesn't like something you're doing, it doesn't really tell you why or what to change. And it looks like that's starting to change here. If once we start messing around with our tool settings, it looks like it's going to give us a little bit of information on kind of what we need to do or what we're missing. So that's a step in the right direction, I think. So new to 2021 honorable mentions. Some of this is in the milling. Some of this is just in general. So engraving toolpath has been improved to address many long-standing issues. I tested out two exact same engraving toolpaths, one from 2020 and one from 2021. And yes, 2021 will use a different toolpath motion to achieve the same result. But it's going to be easier to use and works a lot better. So they've improved there. The raster toolpath now has the option to have Mastercam automatically set different angles to maximize your length of cut. Another one which is going to help milling is editing the UV directions. Surface flow line toolpaths are no longer restricted to your UV direction. So what that means is if you have two surfaces next to each other, you want to use flow line on them, but one of the UV directions is off, you can now edit that and match them up to the first one, and there you go. Surface finish flow line should work no problem. And then area roughing, they improved the performance of the area roughing toolpath. All right, so upcoming rollouts. So that's going to kind of conclude the milling section here. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of it here. Coming up, we have June 11th, 10 a.m. Bruce is going to be doing turning. And then June 11th at 2 o'clock, Eric's going to be doing the multi-axis and post rollout. All right, so hopefully that went well. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I don't know if you have any questions. I think I'll be able to see them down here. Cool, I think we're good. Hey Dave, are you still there?
I am still here.
Cool. So
I think we're all set then. If anyone has a question, just raise your hand or type something in the Q&A. I'll give you one last chance to do that. And then hopefully see you guys in the next rollouts. And if you missed the rollout this morning and you want to see it, we're going to be doing them again. And I'm also going to throw this rollout here up on YouTube with our other rollout from this morning in a little bit, and have links for everybody. So hope everybody had a great day, had a great time. We do have a question. It lit up.
Oh, okay, cool.
From Sam Bitterman. How is the area roughing improved?
That's a great question. I don't know yet. The rollout material that we've gotten has been improved. I haven't dived into it yet, but I will certainly do that. And if you want to shoot support at MACDAC an email, we can dive into it.
Awesome. Any more questions, comments, suggestions? Force Nick to sing you another little song? I don't know.
No.
Okay. No more songs or dances. Because you notice I didn't turn my webcam on because I can't figure out how to do it this morning.
This is the first time I've used this, so.
Oh, cool. Well, it looked good. Sounded good.
Cool. Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks, everyone. We appreciate it, and hope everyone's staying safe.
All right. Take care, everybody, and hopefully see you at the next rollouts. Have a good one. Bye.